Hi, this is Young Sun. I'm going to be cooking seaweed soup or miyeokguk for my daughter's 4th birthday.
Korean seaweed soup is best known for being served on birthdays, but it's great for all occasions as it complements a broad range of Korean meals due to its mild yet flavorful profile. When done right, this soup will fill your home with delicious aromas, the kind that made my daughter ask, is that miyeokguk? It consists of 5 simple ingredients, but everyone seems to have their own method and preferred protein. Beef is the most popular, but flounder, clams, sea urchins, tofu, or mushrooms are also great choices. I've even tried it with canned tuna, which was surprisingly tasty. Today we're going to cook with beef, the most popular version, and my personal favorite. Let's start with the main ingredients. First, you want dried seaweed. They're easy to find at your local Korean grocery store or online, and will come in packets that look something like this. Look for these characters which say miyeok or seaweed. Let's start with 1 cup as a starting point. The amount of seaweed is really a personal preference. Some people prefer more broth, or others more of a stew consistency. There's really no right or wrong here. The only thing I'd note is that the dried seaweed will expand considerably after soaking in water, maybe about 4 times its dried state. So be mindful when you portion it out. Second is the beef. Any cut will do. Brisket is a popular choice, but the most popular is stew meat. It's basically a medley of leftover bits. This is fine. Again, as a starting point, I suggest a 1/4 pound, but you can adjust accordingly based on your own preference. Third is minced garlic. 1 teaspoon will do. I do 2, but I wouldn't suggest going over that. Finally, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce and 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. The preferred choice of soy sauce is called gukganjang, which literally translates to soup soy sauce. It has a higher sodium content and has a clearer color than your regular Kikkoman brand soy sauce. It'll give your broth a cleaner, crisper flavor, but really only the most discerning palates will catch it. I only noted it in case you were absolutely set on trying to make the very best soup possible. Otherwise, the generic Kikkoman style would do just fine. Now that we have our ingredients, let's get cooking. First, you want to soak the seaweed in a large bowl of water for at least 20 minutes. Then rinse and drain the seaweed and set aside for later. If you don't have kitchen shears, then now is a good time to cut the seaweed into smaller pieces. This is an important step. Otherwise, the seaweed will be too long and will be difficult to eat. Now let's cook the beef. In most traditional recipes, including my family's, the beef, garlic, and seaweed are cooked in the same pot as the soup. Proponents of this method believe that cooking the beef in the same pot will produce a more flavorful broth, while sauteing the garlic along with the beef will help remove any of the unpleasant odors from the beef. Be sure to season the beef with salt and pepper. I've discovered over the years that cooking the meat separately produces a cleaner taste. Don't worry about losing flavor. There will be plenty of flavor left. Besides, would you want to drink this? Cook the beef on medium heat so that you're not charring your meat. After the beef is brown, set the pan to the side and cook the seaweed. First, you want to generously coat the bottom of the pan with sesame oil. Don't go overboard, but there's no need to skimp on the sesame oil either. Next, throw in the seaweed and stir fry. While it may seem obvious since we are cooking seaweed soup, this is the single most important step in our recipe. You want to ensure that every single strand of seaweed is thoroughly cooked. This will help dissipate any unpleasant odors while bringing out the umami flavor of the seaweed. Try to pay attention to the smells coming from your pot. As the seaweed cooks, you may start to smell hints of sweetness with nutty aromas. I usually continue this process to the point where strands of seaweed will dry out and start sticking to the pot. This is when you add soy sauce to the bottom of the pot and continue to saute the seaweed, letting the flavors of the soy sauce infuse into the seaweed. Think of yourself as a barista, lovingly roasting their coffee beans to perfection. Spend ample time roasting your seaweed. The amount of elbow grease you invest could be the difference between mediocrity and heaven. Once the seaweed is cooked and sauteed with soy sauce, add water. I like to boil my water first to cut down on cook time. Cold water is fine. Just bring it to a boil. Next, drain out the beef in a strainer and run the beef under water to rinse out any grease. Throw the beef in the pot. Finally, add the minced garlic. Then, simmer for at least an hour if possible. If you're cooking this for someone's birthday like I am, I would highly recommend cooking this before bed. This way, the flavor can marinate overnight. You're not rushed in the morning. Serve with a nice piece of protein such as fish, some kimchi, and other banchans, and you're golden. Enjoy! If you found this video helpful, please support my channel by clicking the subscribe and like button. Thanks, and see you next time.